Scientology is often referred to as a scam or a con. The cult responds to such statements with the charge that such terms constitute baseless, anti-religious bigotry. Anonymous has been watching the cult and learning how it operates from those who have left it, but also from those who are still in, but wish to leave. Those insiders have confirmed many of the points brought up by those who have left. One of the best analogies is between the promises of Scientology and the promises of the girly shows found at carnivals through the middle 2/4 of last century, playing on people's hopes to fulfill a need, whether psychological or animal in nature, is the strongest point of leverage in a con. The old carnival scam can also be seen in various clip joints today, strip joints that offer not just stage dancers, but table dances, private dances, and the nearly legendary champagne room. The champagne room of Scientology, its own version of the private backstage room of a girly show tent, is the bridge, and the OT powers. Just as in the old carnival scam, the conmen let the crowd of potential marks or victims sort itself out, like those who stop to see the girls slinking across the pitchman's platform. Those who linger and take a free personality test are what the conmen wants. The crowd that moves on to other things is of no interest. These potential marks, this source of ready and abundant cash, is the only thing of interest to the carnival barker. To the Scientologist auditor, promises are half made by the person behind the e-meter. Promises are half made by the pitchman pointing his cheap cane at the more interesting features of the girl dancing closest to him, helping lure the marks into the tent. The goal in both cases is to string the victim along through a series of stages, courses and lectures in Scientology, that do not fulfill the implied promises, but repeat the promises, and break down the active thinking of the mark, focusing him or her on reaching the goal, while doing little to advance the person in any meaningful way. In the carnival tent further selection occurs. The truly curious and desperate will pay a premium to stay after for what the pitchman calls the real show. It costs extra. It always will cost extra. In the cult of Scientology, simple courses in communication are offered. These, like the dancers, serve to entice a subset of those who took the personality test to continue onward, this time to more in-depth and thus far more expensive courses. Fee after fee, charge after charge is paid by the mark in either case, paid until the mark runs out of money or decides he has thrown enough good money after bad. First you pay for the Dianetic courses to get you to the state of clear, just as the mark in the carnival is told he is not tipping enough to be invited further back into the tent. The new cult member is told that their progress is disappointing, that they need to audit the Scientology way, which is faster than the Dianetics way. It will cost more, but the auditor says it is worth it. Going past the tent flap costs more, but the pitchman says it's worth it. In both cases, after taking the next step the mark is met with more of the same, a seemingly endless array of hefty fees standing between him and his goal. If he complains, the mark at the girly show is humiliated and insulted. The Scientologist knows not to complain, but internalizes the issue and blames himself, signs up for more courses, or disconnects from family members who are identified at trouble sources. As in all cons, it is never the fault of the carnival barker. It is never Hubbard's deeply flawed works or their implementation that is at the root of the problem. It is always the fault of the mark, the disapproval, the clear disappointment on the one hand of his fellow cultists, on the other of the dancing girls and their barker, makes the mark more eager to please, to conform, to spend. At the end of both, though, there is really nothing fulfilled, only pockets emptied. One could come back again to the tent with more money and a better attitude. One could take their OT levels again. It costs a good bit, sure, but they are offering so much for that money, and besides, the mark has spent so much already. The con never ends until the mark wises up or is bankrupted. Here, the cult has the advantage with its Sea Org. Sign up for 1 billion years. Get your courses for free. They don't tell the mark of the low-paid and hellish conditions, the outright abuse and even coerced abortions. Con men are criminals, but not stupid ones. The key in ruination to both is simple. If the mark knew that there would be no delivery on the promises of bare flesh or a chance to bed one of the dancing girls, he would not pay time and again to pass through various stages. This is the same with Scientology. By informing the public, critics such as Anonymous are revealing that the cult is a sham and does not deliver on its promises. Just level after level, course after course until the mark stops coming or runs out of money. There is no sex in the champagne room, And there are no clears or OTs. In the cult of Scientology, there are only criminals and chumps. If you are a Scientologist listening to this, which are you? A criminal or a chump? A con man or an easy mark? We are anonymous. We are legion. We are at cause. Scientology is at effect. We run this.